Chapter 9, Internet Marketing. First, we promise this chapter is 100% free of technological jargon, weird-sounding social networks, confusing acronyms, and other stuff that probably drives you crazy about the web. We'll cut through all the unnecessary information and explain in plain language how to create a simple internet marketing plan designed to very affordably increase your business. Many of our clients are tired of the never-ending merry-go-round of technological innovation and all the hyperbole about how they should be blogging, tweeting, going digital, and having a microchip planted into their brains. And although we feel your frustration, our job is to help you grow your patient base through marketing. And we know what a tremendous opportunity internet marketing presents. So please don't skip to the next chapter. Bear with us and find out how easy it is to use this latest marketing medium in a sane, manageable way to grow your business. We'll show you how to create a website that showcases your practice and encourages visitors to pick up the phone and make an appointment. You'll learn how to build a bigger presence on the web and generate more traffic to your website from search engines, social networks, and other online sources. And we will introduce you to the coolest, newest, most technologically advanced, cutting-edge, we promise no hyperbole, and we'll honor that promise. But we will reveal a very interesting high-tech marketing tool that's free, super easy to use, and lets you send custom targeted messages, promotions, and information directly to potential patients' mobile phones. Trust us, by the end of this chapter, you'll be excited about what the web can do for your practice. Think of it as a phone book for the 21st century. Probably the best way for a dentist to look at the internet is to compare it to another more traditional promotional medium. In the past, dentists have relied very heavily on the Yellow Pages as a refuge for their marketing investment. Why? Well, mostly because, for whatever reason, using the Yellow Pages as a promotional tool has been considered acceptable when other forms of advertising were considered somehow unprofessional. Depending on how old you are and how long you have been practicing, you may not be aware of the professional stigma attached to dentists who advertised in any medium besides the Yellow Pages prior to the 1980s. But it's a fact that dentists who spent money on magazine and newspaper ads, billboards, and so on were considered slightly unethical or opportunistic or a downright quack by some of their colleagues. As more and more dentists needed or wanted to promote their practices, the Yellow Pages became a safe haven where dentists could spend their marketing dollars without feeling as though they're somehow cheapening the profession. They could go ahead and spend $1,000 per month on Yellow Pages and keep a sterling reputation. But if they spent it on a radio ad, their skills and ethics were suspect. It doesn't make any sense, but that's the way things were. Now, fast forward to the years 1990 through 1999. Because of this weird obsession with not advertising, dentists were paying literally hundreds of millions of dollars each year to Yellow Page publishers. Dentistry was becoming more and more overtly competitive, so dentists were pouring money into the one acceptable form of advertising available to them. The Yellow Pages had the unique position of being non-interruptive, meaning that anyone who opened the book and turned to dentist was in fact looking for a dentist. And since those Yellow Page users were actually looking for a dentist, the profession felt differently about this form of advertising. Nice deal if you were a Yellow Pages publisher. Do you remember how crazy it was jockeying for top position each year? Do you remember what you had to do in order to get or keep that top position in the Yellow Pages? Yes, you paid more money. A simple concept, really. Paying more money for a better position is a concept that made the Yellow Page publishers billions over the years. Now, flash forward to about 2010. Over half the Yellow Page publishers were in Chapter 13 or Chapter 7 protection, or were on their way there. Why? What happened? The internet. That's what happened. The internet is the ultimate search tool, the ultimate public service, and the ultimate level playing field for dentists. If you've been practicing for more than 20 years and still feel squeamish about promoting your practice, we can't imagine a more universally accepted professional medium than the internet. Of course, it depends on how you use it, but if your internet presence is developed intelligently and professionally, it can be instrumental in growing your patient list. Why the internet kicks the phone book's butt. If you remember the days of phone book advertising fondly, get ready to fall in love with the World Wide Web. First, the internet is less expensive than the Yellow Pages ever were. When we say less expensive, we mean a lot less. Back in the Yellow Page heydays, many of our clients were spending $3,000 to $4,000 a month for a Yellow Page ad. There is currently no reason for any dentist to spend anywhere near that amount for a highly effective internet strategy. In fact, we estimate that a profitable internet strategy will cost you about 70% less than the kind of ad space that allows you to dominate the Yellow Pages. Your internet presence will actually help you conserve valuable marketing dollars, which you can then use to fund other ad mediums to promote your practice. The internet is also more effective than the Yellow Pages at attracting high-quality new patients. Statistically, new patients who find your practice on the internet support the second highest average revenue, second only to direct mail. Over the course of a career, this manifests into extremely healthy returns on investment. These high per-patient revenues, combined with lower marketing costs, mean that the internet marketing is now an integral part of an overall successful marketing plan. And finally, the costs of building and maintaining a profitable web strategy actually decrease over time, whereas your Yellow Pages fees probably increased year after year. Internet marketing costs tend to decrease because once your site is built and search engine optimized, ongoing maintenance and updating of your website involves minimal costs. From a return on investment perspective, a well-designed internet marketing strategy typically offers modest, immediate returns as soon as it's implemented and then builds exponentially over time. When we say time, we mean a lot of time. Read like forever. Well, at least until you retire. If you have 20 years of dentistry left in you, you can expect the investment to pay off for 20 years while the costs decrease year after year. Lower startup costs, diminishing maintenance costs, and the potential to reach highly qualified prospects. 3 reasons internet marketing is a very attractive marketing medium. Plain and simple, an effective internet strategy should be a part of every dentist's long-term marketing plan. Is your website good or just good looking? Do you have a website for your practice? We're going to assume the answer is yes. But if it isn't, please promise us you will allocate for this in your next year's budget. Do you think your website is a good website? If you like your website and you think it's a good website, what makes it good? Is it the harmonious colors, the great-looking pictures, the clean, well-designed layout, the attractive font, and the carefully chosen words? Is it because you took an active part in its development and because it closely reflects the image you want to project to the dental consumer? Okay, don't take this the wrong way, but none of those things make a good website. The only thing that makes a website good is the number of new patient inquiries and new patient appointments that it generates. Good looking is nice, but a truly good website has one purpose in life: to attract new patients to your practice. Like every other medium, the overall look and feel of a website has to prove statistically that it will attract more new patients and generate more revenue before it can be considered good. So if it's not a great-looking design with informative content, what makes a website good? Why will one website outperform another one, even if both sites are promoting the services of the exact same dentist? Before we get to things like optimization, search engine marketing, social media, or mobile compatibility, we need to ensure that your website is set up to receive visitors and transition them into becoming a buyer of your services. There are certain types of website design and content that are statistically proven to make some websites more appealing to the dental consumer and therefore more effective in turning visitors into patients. We're going to look now at some key elements of your website, including the navigation, images, and content, to show you how to create a measurably more effective site. Don't bury the lead. Navigation, the ways in which visitors find their way through all the information on your website, is incredibly important. Let's start with the first point of contact, your landing page or homepage. Your landing page can make or break your first fragile initial relationship with the dental consumer, so you'd better make it accessible, interesting, and unique. You have only a few precious seconds to make an impression on your first-time visitors. And if you miss one of these three attributes, your visitors are likely to simply click the browser's back button, never to return. This is why your landing page must list your most prominent marketable attributes. We covered these in depth in Chapter 3. It's the biggest story you have to tell about your practice, so don't bury the lead underneath a layer of navigation. Your marketable attributes should not go under an all-encompassing general purposes service link. Why smother your most vital assets under a redundant services link? Don't consumers already assume dentists provide dental services? Of course they do. The entire level of hierarchy is at best annoying to the general public. To us, it's like visiting the Geico website and seeing a link called insurance. Well, duh. Why don't they just put links named car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV up on their landing page? I already know Geico sells insurance. You get the idea. Consumers want to be able to find what they're looking for instantly. If they don't see it right away, they may not spend time hunting for it. Making your most marketable services more immediately accessible also gives you an opportunity to educate consumers about the range of services you offer. They may not even know about some of the possibilities available to them in dental care, but when they see the information up front, they'll make a call to find out more. So instead of burying your marketable attributes, bring them front and center on your home landing page. This may make the design of your site and homepage more challenging, but it's worth it. Remember, you are building what will become a profitable internet strategy. Sometimes this requires a bit more work up front, but so be it. Since when have you ever seen a lazy shortcut that produced something truly effective? Once your marketable attributes are in plain sight on your homepage, make the supporting page for each short and to the point. Use the scroll test. Do you have to scroll a long way to see the supporting text and graphics? If you do, you have overdeveloped the page. Here's another very important question. Who knows more, you or your website? It's you, right? By a mile. So don't try to make your website the ultimate authority. That's your role. Don't cram it full of details and answers to every conceivable question. The purpose of each supporting web page should be to provide a brief description of the service, reinforce the benefits, and then guide the consumer to call you for the rest of the story by booking an initial consultation, for example. There is nothing about any aspect of clinical dentistry that can be answered with any degree of certainty on a web page. The only person that can answer a dental question with any degree of certainty is you or your competition after an in-person examination. We have seen dentists or their website developers put links to alternate websites so their visitors could receive additional dental education on a different site. This is a gigantic mistake. You should never provide a link to take your website visitor to a different website, unless, of course, it's a website designed for your patients to pay off their balance. Images. No retractors, no extreme close-ups, and no supermodels. The images you use on your website are another important area for consideration. The web is a visual medium, and the right images have the power to arrest a visitor's attention and encourage them to learn more. As marketing professionals who have seen hundreds of dental websites and have made it our business to understand the dental consumer, we can't help but cringe at some of the images dentists use. Close-ups of people with their faces distorted by retractors, gruesome pre-restored implant pictures, images of periodontal surgery. No, no, no. We don't want to see so much as a dentist's chair on your website. Dental consumers don't either. These pictures may be endlessly fascinating to dentists, but they're a big turnoff for ordinary people. Keep your before and after shots as full-face smiles, before and full-face smiles after. Nothing on your website should remotely equate to the perception of pain. What the consumer really wants to see with your pictures is, what do I look like now and what might I look like after? Since no consumer walks around with retractors, the retractors add nothing to the visual experience. Keep those retracted pictures on file for your local dental study club or your favorite dental online community. Do not use them on your website. Doesn't having your lips and cheeks stretched out look painful? What kind of Dr. Frankenstein are you? Remember, you're selling happy, healthy, attractive smiles, and that's all people should see on your site. And remember who you're selling happy, healthy smiles to. Some of you may choose only the most attractive subjects to photograph. Some of you like to brag online and offline about your work on celebrities, models, or beauty pageant contestants. Now, this is okay, but keep the celebrity pictures to a maximum of 1 in every 10 within your gallery. The other 9 people should be normal-looking, regular people with regular jobs and regular paychecks. If you load up your website photo gallery with nothing but CEOs and supermodels, it can signal to your visitors that your services are expensive and out of the reach of the ordinary consumer. Visitors may also feel skeptical that they could achieve that level of attractiveness. Remember, Jane Q. Soccer Mom is the person you really want to represent in your smile gallery. She makes the dental care decisions 89% of the time, so make sure your website is geared toward her expectations. And one final nice touch is to provide short testimonials from the patients you feature in your gallery. Check with your state board for any restrictions or requirements around these testimonials. A testimonial humanizes the person in the photograph, provides a third-party endorsement of your services, and reassures the website visitor that your patients receive excellent care. Content. Keep it short, sweet, and full of personality. As we mentioned earlier, your website doesn't have to include massive amounts of in-depth information. It's not a who's got the most words contest. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Attention spans can be short on the web. Most visitors just want to know whether you offer the services they need or that they think they need, and whether you seem like a competent, trustworthy provider of those services. It doesn't take much to provide just enough information to get them to call. For instance, on your About the Doctor page, a short description of your professional and continuing education is all that is necessary. Dental consumers don't care about the 2,000 hours of CE that you log each year. They really don't. In fact, overstating your post-grad education can actually work against you. You can easily see a consumer wondering why someone who went to dental school to become a dentist would then have to take 2,000 hours of CE. What's wrong with this guy? How come he had to take so much schooling after he graduated? You get the idea. The dental consumer would also like to see you as a regular human being in real clothes, with no drill in your hand and no dental chair in the background. One of the most successful additions to websites that we've ever created was to take the dentist's wife, and their 4 children and have them professionally photographed in a playful setting. We used the family photograph alongside a short story about education and a longer story about his wife, his kids, what they like to do on weekends, and what they like to do on vacations. This type of humanizing of the dentist resonates deeply with the female visitor to a dental website. We also recommend showcasing your community or charitable involvement. Consumers love to feel that the dentist is part of their local community. They like to know their dentist participates in and gives back to the local community. This can be as simple as an announcement of your Halloween candy buyback program. Could be an announcement of your free dentistry day. It might be the donated smile makeover you completed for a victim of domestic violence. You can make this area anything you want. Just make sure the visiting public can get to it from your homepage. In other words, do not unintentionally hide it. Once you've created a website that greets your visitors effectively and gives them the information they need and the inspiration to pick up the phone and call you, it's time to focus on the next important element of your internet marketing strategy: search engine optimization. Search engine optimization, or SEO, is getting your website noticed. In Field of Dreams, Ray Kinsella stands in his cornfield and hears a voice tell him, "If you build it, they will come." Now, this may work for baseball diamonds, but it doesn't work for websites. Sure, you can certainly drive web traffic through traditional promotional mediums like mail, your signage, your business card, print ads, radio ads, even TV ads. All of those promotional mediums will drive internet traffic, and that traffic is important. But remember the Yellow Page analogy? We don't just want people who have already heard about you to find your website. We want people who have never heard about you to find your website too. This is where search engine optimization comes into the discussion. SEO helps search engines such as Google, Yahoo, Bing, etc. determine which information on the internet is most relevant to the person searching for that information. The more relevant your website is to the search, the higher the search engines will rank your site when someone types in a keyword or key phrase into their search field. People use search engines because they're an incredibly easy, efficient way to find anything, whether it's recipes, stock prices, old college roommates, or vintage pet rocks. They know what they're looking for is just a search away. And dental services are no different, including the dental services you and your competition provide. But when someone types Parksville dentist into the search field, and you're a practicing dentist in Parksville, you want to know that your website will show up ahead of the 300 other dentists in Parksville. This is because even the most thorough consumer isn't likely to go further than the second page of search results. In fact, if you're on page 3, they'll wind up on a competitor's site, not yours. So how do you get to the top of the search page? Well, you hire a professional. Your SEO partner, whether it's a company or a consultant, is your personal paid corporate mercenary. Their job is to analyze your website content, analyze the websites of your competition, and determine their current positioning for certain keywords. Next, they assemble a master keyword and phrase list that people are most likely to use when searching for dental services in your area. Then, they add those keywords and key phrases in carefully calibrated densities to your visible website and to invisible coding elements of your site. This strategic keyword loading, in conjunction with other techniques, helps to boost your search engine rankings for relevant searches. Most dentists, in fact, most website owners generally, make one major mistake about SEO. They assume it's a one-time thing. Load up the keywords, watch your website rise in the search rankings, and bingo, you're done. The reality is that the algorithms search engines use to determine search relevance and ranking of various search results are changing all the time. In the last 18 months alone, the search engines have developed new ranking criteria. In the past 8 months, 2 of the biggest search engines cut deals with social media sites so that now social media data is indexed and visible in the search results. The strategy that brought hundreds of people to your website 6 months ago may not work today. Proper search engine optimization is not a one-time static event. It can't be, because the search engines are changing the rules all the time. Proper search engine optimization must be a continual process of manipulating the visible and non-visible attributes of your website in order to have your site appear to be the most relevant website within your local market. See why you need a professional? Fortunately, once your initial market investigation and setup is complete, continual improvement and competitive positioning is very affordable. The following dentists can forget about SEO. Okay, not every single dentist with a website is going to need an SEO specialist. For those of you in a very non-competitive market, you may not need to optimize your website in order to dominate the search results. If you're one of 10 dentists in Podunk, and only 5 of those have websites, you don't need an SEO guru to help you hit page 1 of the Podunk dentist key phrase search results. Just having a website that mentions your practice area will probably be enough. The following dentists can't forget about SEO. For dentists in more competitive areas, optimizing your website is a sound investment. For those of you who practice in or very near densely populated urban centers, a great-looking, professionally optimized website is mandatory. In densely populated urban areas, more traditional advertising mediums, such as newsprint, radio, and television, are just too expensive for most dentists. But these areas have a high concentration of web-savvy individuals, making them ideal for more affordable internet marketing strategies. As an example, in Manhattan, 70 people search for a dentist or dental-related services every hour. In that type of market area, you can understand the advantage of having your practice website positioned as high as possible. In highly competitive dental markets, your competitors will have their own SEO teams in place, and your SEO partner will be matching wits with them online. Truly compassionate SEO professionals get a lot of personal and professional satisfaction out of beating their colleagues at their game. Our whole SEO department gets a really big kick out of seeing the improvement reports from month to month and watching the website rise in the search rankings. They know they are gaining position on websites that are managed by other SEO professionals. It's sort of like geek wars. The bottom line here is this. If you practice in or near a big city, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Hire the absolute best optimization professional you can find. Remember the real-world example we gave you? There are 70 people in Manhattan searching for a dentist every hour. There are 400 dentists with websites in Manhattan, all trying to push their way to the first position of various search terms. Competition is fierce. Align yourself with an SEO professional who can handle the heat and one that gets a kick out of playing a winning game. Search engine marketing. Sometimes you have to pay to play. SEO allows you to rise to the top of the search engine's organic results, and it's the best way to get your website in front of the people who need to see it. But there are times when paying for that first page spot instead of earning it through strategic SEO activities can help your online marketing efforts. If you have ever used a search engine, you will have seen these paid ads in the sponsored results sections at the top and to the right of the organic search results. Search engine marketing, SEM, involves setting up paid ads that appear for certain keywords and key phrase searches. As an advertiser, you will generally pay a small amount only when somebody chooses to click on your paid ad and visit your website. If they don't click, you don't pay, which is why they're often called pay-per-click campaigns. There is nothing wrong with SEM tactics, and in some cases, they can play an important part in your overall online marketing strategy. However, you should always exhaust the possibilities of SEO before resorting to paid ads. Iris scanning technology has proven that 80% of internet users focus on the organic listings, SEO, leaving only 20% of internet users to utilize the paid or sponsored listings. That's why you should always expend your online marketing budget on SEO activities first, and then consider spending money on SEM. Never start with SEM. Want to know what SEM costs in your local market area? The cost of placing ads for certain search terms will vary widely depending on 1, the popularity of the search terms you choose, and 2, the location of your practice. In general, the more competitive search terms are going to be more expensive because more people are bidding on them and driving the price up. Likewise, in more competitive areas, such as densely populated regions with a high ratio of higher income earners, you can expect to pay a premium for keywords and key phrases. Remember our Yellow Page historical perspective? Who said history doesn't repeat itself? Fortunately, Google offers a sophisticated free tool to help you predict the cost of placing ads against specific keywords and key phrases for your local market. Just Google AdWords Traffic Estimator and click on the resulting link. Then type in any keyword or key phrase you're interested in using. The Traffic Estimator will provide a comprehensive report that covers everything you need to know about that keyword or key phrase. It will tell you how many local searches there are for that phrase, the estimated cost per click, or CPC, for your area, the estimated ad position on the search result page, the number of estimated clicks per day you can anticipate, and the estimated daily cost of an SEM campaign for that particular key phrase. You'll know exactly what to expect in terms of financial outlay and in terms of performance. Will your practice benefit from SEM? We have found that SEM tactics work well for dentists in or near a densely populated area, and in these cases, we may recommend setting up a PPC campaign. We may also set up a PPC campaign for a client that is really trying to promote a certain niche, like sedation, sleep apnea, migraine treatment, etc. Anyone can set up a PPC campaign, so you don't have to retain the services of a professional to benefit from this form of online marketing. Google has made it unbelievably simple to set up your own PPC campaign. Just search for Google advertising, and you'll find Google's excellent, straightforward tutorial. It leads you through the process of setting up your own campaign step by step. You can choose the keywords you want to target. You can also find out what types of keywords other people in your competitive space are using. Once you've determined your targets, you decide how much you want to pay per click, and then set a limit on the total amount you want to spend per day. You can control your PPC advertising budget down to the penny and adjust your budget instantly. Google makes it easy. You really don't need us or anyone else to help you set up and manage a PPC campaign. Don't waste your precious marketing dollars to pay an online marketing company to do it for you. Social media. How to get results without tweeting like a twit. The big buzz these days in dental marketing is social media. Social media websites include Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and so on, plus about 1,000 other more obscure sites with weird names like Fark, Reddit, Ning, and Plurk. There are now groups of dentists organizing continuing education events so everyone can get together to discuss how dentists can use social media to promote their practices and find more patients. We find it amazing that you could get a crowd of dentists in the same place in the same time to discuss social media. But heck, why not? We're delighted that dentists are taking the initiative and staying on top of new developments in the online world, but we like to put things into perspective. Between all the blogging and friending and liking and tweeting and who knows what all, it's easy to spend hours each day on social networks. But is it the best use of your resources? In our experience, you aren't going to get a ton of new patients from your social interaction on these sites. Yes, you can create an account for your practice and gain fans for your practice. You can ask your existing patients to friend you or become a fan of your practice. You can also copy your blog onto the various social media sites to keep everyone informed and current. That's all good stuff, but hardly a viable opportunity to generate new business when you look at how much time it will take you to set everything up and add new content on a continual basis. You still want to save a bit of time for dentistry, don't you? With that caveat, there are two excellent ways to use social media to improve traffic to your website, and neither of them will suck up hours of your time. Number one, highly targeted pay-per-click ads on Facebook. We know we just spent the first half of this chapter telling you to use pay-per-click sparingly, if at all. But that's when it's search engine pay-per-click. Facebook offers pay-per-click marketing that you can carefully target to specific demographic and geographic groups, making it a very sophisticated and effective way to connect to your target market. As with search engine pay-per-click, you don't need to hire someone to run your Facebook ad campaign for you. You can set up a campaign on Facebook in about 10 minutes. As you set up your campaign, you can target Facebook users by geography, age, gender, and keywords, and by the kinds of things they like or become a fan of. This allows you to choose exactly who to display your ads to and to craft specific messages that are relevant to those people. As an example, let's say you want to promote dental implants. You can target adults in your practice area who are over 45 years of age so that the right people receive information that's of interest to them. By clicking on your ad, they will be taken straight to the page on your website that features your dental implant services. You can run limitless simultaneous campaigns targeting different groups. For instance, while you're targeting people 45 and up with dental implant ads, you can target mothers in your area with an ad that promotes your kid-friendly practice. Wi-Fi, Xbox, PlayStation, your kids will love going to the dentist. At the same time, you can run an ad targeted to people whose keywords indicate they are headache sufferers. Persistent headaches? Cost per click of Facebook ads is quite reasonable, and you can set a daily budget limit. You can also view the number of daily impressions or views that each ad receives and see how many viewers clicked on the ad to visit your website. This kind of targeted ad campaign can be very cost-effective and produce great results. Number two, better website ranking through social links. Participating in social media can help you rise higher in the search results. Every time you or someone else in a social network posts about your practice in a blog or on Twitter or writes about it on someone's Facebook wall, it has a positive effect on your search engine ranking. This is because a few of the top search engines have recently agreed to index social media data, which means that this data is now included in relevant search results. When someone searches for a dentist in, let's say, Google will not only retrieve and display a link to the dentist's own website, but any social media activity that includes the search terms the surfer used in their original request. What this means is that your name and practice information could show up in 4 or 5 search results instead of just one. This is a significant marketing advantage for dental practices in a competitive internet market, particularly larger cities. Take our Manhattan example from earlier in this chapter. How cool would it be to have 5 out of the first 10 search results for Manhattan dentist be you? You would practically own the entire first page of results. 3 web innovations that will put your practice ahead of the pack. If you followed all of the advice we gave you right up until this point, your practice could very well be leading the pack already in terms of a strong, effective web presence. If you have a well-designed website with an intuitive navigation, short and sweet copy, attractive images of ordinary people with healthy, happy smiles, and a page that lets visitors see who you are, what you do with your life when you're not practicing dentistry, well, you're doing great. If you have a great SEO partner who is focused on getting your site to the top of the rankings for strategic keywords and key phrases, you're doing awesome. If you are using SEM and social media to increase your search engine compatibility and reach out to your target market with a smart, affordable campaign, you are a star. So if you're feeling cocky at this point, you can go ahead and skip to the next chapter. But if you want to take your web marketing to the next level without spending a fortune or having to learn a bunch of technical stuff, we recommend that you take a look at the next 3 simple, inexpensive, but highly effective technologies. Innovation number 1, the secret to getting people to pick up the phone. Let's assume you have followed our recommendations and now have a website designed to hold the attention of your target market and encourage them to give your office a call. Let's also assume that you have a great SEO team and SEM activities that attract consistent visitor traffic to your site. Everything is working perfectly, well, except the phone's not ringing. Why aren't you getting more real live patients calling your dental practice to make their first appointment? That's a good question, and we have a good answer. It has to do with your website's conversion rates. A conversion is a web user who actually completes a desired action after visiting your website. In this case, the desired action is to pick up the phone and book an appointment to see you. Once you've attracted a certain amount of traffic to your site and made the information on that site relevant and interesting to your visitors, you will still need to make sure your site is able to convert visitors into active callers. Oh no! Do we have to fill our homepage with discount coupons in order to get the consumer to take action? No, not at all. To understand the dental consumer and pinpoint exactly what will encourage them to take action and call, we suggest putting yourselves into their shoes. Try this exercise. Imagine you're a potential patient looking for a dentist in your hometown. Google your town name, dentist. Then click on the first 5 dental practice websites that come up for your search. Spend some time looking at them. Okay, if you had to choose a family dentist from one of these 5 options, which would you pick? You probably eliminated 1 or 2 right off the bat because they were hard to navigate or badly designed or because they had unappealing photos. But among the rest, which dental website impressed you above all of the others? Is there a clear-cut winner? Are you having a difficult time choosing one? We thought so. You are having a hard time because none of these sites established trust and respect. We don't expect you to consciously recognize what they are missing because it is subliminal. They have good information, they have good design, but without that feeling that you're truly putting yourself in the best hands, it's likely that you'll put off making a decision and leave the site without making that call. Or you'll go back and do a different search to find more options. This is why dental websites will show 100 or more unique visitors each month, with nary a phone call for a new patient appointment. So what's the solution? Website video. Website video is the only communication tool that allows a consumer to feed their subconscious need to feel a heightened level of trust and respect. There is only so much emotion you can convey using words, pictures, fonts, colors, borders, and fancy graphics. None of those tools has the impact of a well-made video that puts a real, living, breathing human being on the visitor's screen. Just any website video? No. Badly executed video can actually have the opposite effect and turn the consumer away. Your web video has to be very carefully scripted, carefully directed, properly rendered, properly compressed, and properly embedded into your website in order to create the right effect. A good video can reassure your web visitor, allay any fears they may have, and make them feel as though they have already met you. As a result, they are much more likely to pick up the phone to continue the conversation. How differently do you feel meeting a perfect stranger versus seeing someone you've already met? See how different that feels? Key, but often overlooked components needed to produce a really good and impactful website video. A good website video starts with identifying your most prominent marketable attributes. Each marketable attribute then becomes the center topic of each video you produce. If you have 7 or 8 really important marketable attributes, you should end up with 7 or 8 videos. Then, when the website visitor clicks the link of one or more of your marketable attributes, the associated video automatically loads and plays for them. Proper scripting is one of the major factors in producing a really good and effective website video. If you do not have a script and simply attempt to wing it, well, you're sunk. If you think you know what you're supposed to say to a dental consumer about a particular marketable attribute, but you really don't, you are still sunk. Careful wording, careful timing, and practicing your script before you enter the studio will definitely improve the quality and effectiveness of your end product. Directing is another one of those hidden arts that ultimately can make or break the effectiveness of your web video. Many dentists get in front of the camera and try to act. Others get in front of the camera and sound scripted. You don't really want to capture either of these options. What you want to capture is a really nice human being that comes across warm, friendly, compassionate, and inviting. Make sure you have someone with you in the studio that knows what you are ultimately trying to capture. Editing and compression is the more technical side of website video, and it can make a huge difference to the quality of the end result. Since the right way to implement website video is to have the video auto-load with the web page, the file size has to be compressed down to the point that it easily loads without buffering, that annoying hesitation you see on some website video. However, if you compress an image or video too far, you degrade the visual quality and potentially the sound quality. Somewhere there is a perfect balance between size and quality for each video you shoot. It takes a professional editor who is skilled in using complicated software to get the video just right. Embedding your video into the website can be tricky. There are options to embedding your video. You can embed your video and create a floating effect. That is, the website visitor can still scroll your website page, and you, in the video, are still stationary. You can also lock your video. If you lock the video, you actually scroll up and down the page along with everything else. Unless you are very well versed at various website languages, we would recommend you get a professional to embed your final production. You can break lines of programming code inside a website. You can also minimize optimization impact by adding lines of new code where you shouldn't. It is always best to seek professional help when embedding the final product. How to make a really bad video. There are so many ways to mess up a dentist website video, we struggle to include them all in this book. Dentists call us all the time and ask us to look at their websites and specifically the video on their websites. Below is a list of the most important of our reactions to what we have seen out there. Before we get to the right way to do it, let's look at some of the ways video can go wrong. Failing to prepare a script or thinking you can do this in 1 or 2 takes. If you create a video, you should definitely write out what you're going to say prior to setting up the camera. Don't wing it or think you will figure it out on the fly. If you haven't previously made a video, you may not realize how much preparation and attention to detail is involved. Most of us see professionally made video on our televisions every day, but understand that there is lots of detail behind the scenes. Often people speaking on video are actually reading a teleprompter. Even if you prepare a script and use a teleprompter, you should take time to understand what will resonate with a potential patient. Use an actor. Believe it or not, there are services out there where you can email them a script and have them say the words, film the shoot, and they will send you the video. And if you were selling ShamWows, this might make sense. But remember, you are what the dental consumer needs to see and feel. Okay, they aren't actually going to feel you literally, but you get the idea. The dental consumer must get the feeling that you are warm, approachable, compassionate, and that you really do care about them as a patient. You can't do that with an actor. It's impossible. Here's another mistake. Make it really long. Attention spans are incredibly short on the web. A video longer than 90 seconds will turn people off. Consumers do want to meet and hear you. They do not want a sermon. Remember, you want your videos viewed through to their conclusion. Another mistake, making it really big. A huge video file that hasn't been properly compressed will slow down your entire website and even cause people's browsers to crash. That's not the way to inspire confidence. Making it too small. Big is bad, but if your file size is too small, your image will be pixelated and fuzzy, and your sound quality will be awful. Leave compression to the experts. Not letting people turn it off. Nothing is more intrusive than being forced to watch a video you're not interested in. People won't stick around on your site for long if you hold their ears and eyes hostage like that. Don't do it. Here's another mistake. Base it on an office tour. We understand dentists are proud of their dental office, but some people don't choose dentists based on how nice their crown molding is or how fancy the reception desk looks. Worse, most people feel a pang of fear when they see the dentist chair, the shiny instruments, and the unfamiliar machines. Here's another mistake. Talk in depth about dental procedures. We have seen dozens of videos where dentists are asked on camera about procedure X and go into a very long, drawn-out explanation of procedure X and why they're qualified to undertake procedure X. Yawn. Most of these canned interview-style presentations are exactly that, canned. The dental consumer sees right through that. The main benefit of properly done website video should be obvious to you now. You might be nervous about it, you might wonder if you can pull it off properly, but the benefits are obvious. If you are currently receiving 4 new patients a month from your website, your conversion should double, if you do it right, to an average of 8 new patients a month. Yes, the statistical impact can be that immediate and that gratifying. However, there are other benefits to having these website videos. Remember earlier in the chapter we discussed your website and the optimization of your website? We discussed the use of video on your site and the various social media outlets. If you produce good video productions, you aren't limited to embedding them on your website. You can link them to your YouTube channel. You can post them to your practice's Facebook account. You can Twitter about them and link back to them. There are many reasons to invest a small portion of your annual budget to website video, but only if you do them properly. Now, let's look at how to make a really good video. A good video requires a good professional videographer. Now, this is not the time to let your oldest child earn some pocket money by taping you with the family's home video camera or your phone camera. You need a great script that allows you to appear on screen in a neutral setting and talk briefly, casually, and authoritatively about a specific topic. On the homepage video, your script will be a very short welcome message. Although the script is important, the irony is that, at least at first, the consumer is barely listening to the words. Instead, they are subconsciously watching you to see whether you are an approachable, believable, and trustworthy human being. If you pass that test, you are on your way to instant new patient phone calls. Innovation number 2, follow your potential patients wherever they go. No trailing, tailing, or illegal stalking is needed for this maneuver. A very simple web technology allows you to follow your potential patients around so that your information is always handy when they might need it. And if you are in or near any major metro area, this is a must-have. We're talking about mobile websites, of course. As of the writing of this book, 67% of the world's population are mobile subscribers. Do you want to read that again and let it sink in? That's 67% of the world. That's a lot of dental consumers, and the trend is only increasing. Internet using mobile technology is growing at 700% per year. In fact, Morgan Stanley analysts believe that the mobile web will be a more popular way to access the internet than desktop access. This trend is definitely worthy of attention. But have you ever tried to view a regular website on your mobile phone? Go ahead. If you have a mobile phone, take a look at your practice website right now. Not very user-friendly, is it? You have to scroll endlessly, don't you? Is this the type of experience with your dental practice that you want a mobile surfer to have? No, we wouldn't wish that experience on anyone. Fortunately, there is an opportunity to design websites for mobile phones. This can be done easily. If your practice has a website, you can acquire your practice name and design with a second site specifically with a small screen of a mobile phone in mind. Furthermore, with proper coding, you can set your website so if someone keys in your practice name on their mobile device, the mobile site is what they see on their screen automatically. Take a look at the difference between a website that has been optimized for mobile screens and one that hasn't. And on page 147, we have some examples of these sites. Properly designed websites are specifically built to work on mobile phones so that the user can comfortably view and navigate the contents on their tiny screen. Websites that have not been optimized for mobile devices simply shrink the full-size website down to minuscule proportions, making them effectively useless to people viewing them on a mobile device. Mobile websites can immediately connect the surfer to the office. All the person has to do in the example above is click the phone number, and poof, it auto-dials the practice phone number. And yes, your videos will run on the mobile site as well. This kind of strategic advantage over your competition comes at a very affordable cost. Cost of developing a website that will work on mobile can be recouped, even if it means you only get 1 or 2 new patients a year. Let's recap what we've learned in this chapter. In this chapter, we've identified some of the bread and butter basics of a successful internet marketing campaign and introduced you to some of the tech-forward marketing tactics that could set your dental practice apart from the herd without requiring a ton of your time or money. We discussed some of the reasons a website should be an integral part of every dentist marketing toolkit and shown you how to avoid some of the common pitfalls. Design your website for your visitors, not you. Make sure your most marketable services are accessible from your homepage not buried in a complicated navigation system. Use friendly, attractive images that reflect your target market. Keep your content short. Use the scroll test to see whether it's too long. Don't be afraid to add personality. Non-work photos and stories about you and your family help people feel comfortable with you. You also learn that search engine optimization, SEO, and search engine marketing, SEM, are essential. Hire professionals to handle your SEO activities, and be aware that SEO is an ongoing commitment because search criteria are constantly changing. Only resort to SEM when SEO isn't creating enough traffic to your site or when you're in a more competitive market. Handle your own SEM pay-per-click campaigns. Google makes it easy to set up and manage your own paid ads. We showed you how to use social media effectively by focusing on highly targeted Facebook pay-per-click ads. So now you're ready to launch a powerful online presence. What's next? Now that you have a clear understanding of online and offline marketing options and the benefits and challenges of each medium, we're ready to move on to setting and managing your marketing budget.